Lesson 13.2, Task 3. Determine a term in an arithmetic sequence. An arithmetic sequence has a common difference of -10 and a seventh term of 140. Write a rule for the sequence. What is the 19th term? Okay, so there's a couple things we have to do here. So we have to write a rule for the sequence and then find the 19th term. So it says the common difference is given. In order to write the rule, you just need to determine the first term of the sequence. All right, so if we know what the seventh term is, can we use that to find the common difference? All right, so we know that our formula is going to be A of n equals our first term plus n minus 1 times d. All right, so we know our common difference is -10 here, and we know our seventh term is 140. So we can say a sub n is 140 when n is 7. So we're going to do a sub 1. We don't know a sub 1 yet, but we do know our seventh term is 140, and we know our common difference is -10. So if we plug in what we know, we can solve for a sub 1. So we're going to have 140, and that's a sub 1. So we're going to have plus 7 minus 1 is 6 times -10. So that's -60. So we would have to add 60 to both sides in order to undo that operation. So a sub 1 equals 140 plus 60, or 200. All right, so we didn't have the first term, but because we were given a term, we were still able to find the first term using the formula. Okay, so it says, can you find the first term? And the answer is yes. And to explain, I plugged in what I knew and solved for a sub 1. All right, so it says using the general rule, a of n equals a1 plus n minus 1 times d for an arithmetic sequence. And they did the same thing that I have done, and they plugged in and found a sub 1 to be 200. So that's your first term. Now that we have our first term and our common difference of -10, we can write a rule with that. So it says, how is the rule written? In subscript notation. Remember, subscript is written as a lowercase, like a little number below. So subscript notation would be this one. And it says, use the information to find the 19th term. So we would just use this formula here, or this rule, and we would plug in 19. So we would do 19 minus 1, which is 18. 18 times -10 is -180. And then add that to 200. 200 minus 180 is 20. So our 19th term would be 20. All right, that's all for task 3. If you have any questions, let me know. Lesson 13.2, task 4. Determine a term in an arithmetic sequence. The 12th term of an arithmetic sequence is 33, and the 16th term is 41. What is a rule for the sequence, written in both subscript and function notation? All right, so this time we're given two different terms, and so we're going to have to find the common difference, and we're going to have to find the first term in order to write a rule for that. All right, so let's see where to start. Use the general rule along with the given information to find the expression for the first term, a sub 1. So if the 12th term is 33, so we can write 33 equals a sub 1 plus 12 minus 1 equals d. All right, so this is just plugging in the 33 and the 12 into the general formula, which can be rearranged as, all right, so if I simplify this, I'm going to have 12 minus 1 is 11d. And if I subtract that to the other side, I'm going to have 33 minus 11d. So we're going to have a sub 1 equals 33 minus 11d. All right, so it says use the general rule along with the given information to find a second expression for the first term. So the 16th term is 41. So all right, so I think they've got this confused with the one above it. So let's kind of fix this right here. So it says the 16th term is 41. So 41 equals the first term plus, instead of 12, this should be 16. All right, which can be simplified as a sub 1 equals 33. Again, they're using this number up here. They've got the two mixed up. So this should be 41 minus, and it's not 11d, 16 minus 1 is 15d. All right, so for right here, the equation would be a sub 1 equals 41 minus 15d. And that came from a sub 1 equals your first term, or wait a minute. Now I'm getting confused. All right, so back up. So we're going to put in 41 is not our first term. It's just our a sub n. And that's going to equal our first term plus this term given. So 16 minus 1 times our common difference. All right, so that's where this came from here. 16 minus 1 is 15, so 15d. Subtract that from the other side. 41 minus 15d equals a subscript 1. All right, so we're going to use the two equations given. It says set the expressions for a sub 1 equal to each other and solve. So we're given this expression here, and now we have this expression here. So if we set the two equations of a sub 1 equal to each other, that means we're going to do 33 minus 11d. And we're going to set that equal to 41 minus 15d. And we can do that because they're both equal to a sub 1. So whatever a sub 1 is, those two are equal. So let's add 15d to both sides. So we're going to have a negative 11 and 15 gives us 4d. And then let's subtract 33. That cancels on this side. It's an equation, so I have to do the same thing on the other side. So 41 minus 33 is 8. Divide both sides by 4. D equals 2. So our common difference now is 2. So it looks like everything is correct except what they have written in this second part down here. All right, explain how to determine the common difference using two expressions. All right, so we solved both in terms of a sub 1, and then we set the a sub 1's equal to each other to solve. That found D, which was our common difference. All right, it says how can you use the equation 33 equals a sub 1 plus 12 minus 1 times 2. 2 is now our common difference to finish the work needed to write the general rule for the arithmetic sequence. Well, now you just have to solve for a sub 1. Once you have a sub 1 and the 2, the common difference, you can write the general equation. So 12 minus 1 is 11. 11 times 2 is 22. 33 minus 22 is 11, so a sub 1 is 11. So we got our first term is 11 and our common difference is 2. So it says select the best example for the general rule in both function and subscript notation. All right, subscript notation, 11 plus n minus 1 times 2, that would be subscript notation, and function notation. A of n equals 11 plus n minus 1 times 2. And this is without the first term. So the first two should be correct. All right, that's all for task 4. If you have any questions, let me know.